All right. This is basic Premiere. We start with the slideshow, and to bring the images, it's depending on what project we're doing. For this particular video, it's 13 pictures of different elements and principles of design and composition. So how you took the pictures. You should have 13 pictures for this particular assignment. However, the skills that you learn here can be translated to any slideshow that you're creating in Premiere. So the program's Premiere. I've already got it slightly fired up. And new project. And this is where you want to tell the project where it's saving to. Okay. Right now mine is saving into Premiere and it's the 6th folder. I can leave it there, or I can browse and I can say I want to save it to my desktop. Like that. Choose it, and I could also title it. So it'll be last name, first name, slideshow. So let's see, your last name, your first name, all capitals, and then lowercase slideshow. Depending on what I've told you, it could be different for a particular assignment. All right, click OK. And there it is on my desktop there. And when we're doing images, we're going to do HD. There's all of these choices. They all open. But the one we want to do is HDV, and we'll do 24 frames per second. All right, so 1080, 24. 1080, 24. And I'll select that, and then I click OK. And then here's my stage. You should already have a folder of images on your desktop that you will import to the project. So we'll go to my project, sequence 1. You can have multiple sequences if you're working on a large assignment where you had different scenes of a video and different sequences, and you can also label your sequences. I'm going to leave this as sequence 1, and I'm going to go File, Import, which means to bring into something. And my folder was called Test, and I click Import. And it comes in as a folder. If you bring individual pictures, they'd be all individual in here. It doesn't matter. This is faster because I can just grab my whole folder, click and grab it, and I drop it onto the timeline, which is video 1. Okay. Right, I've stretched it out a little bit too far. Let's grab them and bring them back to the beginning. All right, I've left a little space at the beginning here to put a title in. We'll do that later. So my pictures are there. I don't have 13, I just have a few, but just for this demonstration. The first thing you should do once they're on video 1, I don't want them, right? I want them on video 1. You always start with the bottom track, and then you can stack other things above, like in layers. All right, is to resize. So scrub through by grabbing the yellow thing here and scrub through the first picture. And I want you to just go to 10%. So you can change the size by just double clicking and then grabbing the wireframe. Now obviously a vertical, you're going to have black on either side. That's just the way it's going to be. Vertical pictures don't fit very well into a regular widescreen television or a monitor, depending on what you're watching your video on. But that's fine. So one by one, double click, get the wireframe, and resize. So my first two look like they're verticals. And the next one, double click, see how large they are? The pictures were taken at a higher resolution than what the final video is going to be at. So I'm going to do all of these quickly and move my timeline with it, clickety click, in we go. It's off center, you can always move it around, but you don't, whatever's outside the black frame will get clipped off when it gets rendered into a video or exported to a video. So double click, and it's a bit time consuming, but there is a faster way to do it. You can look that up, but for now, learning the software, as if I find repeating several steps over and over again, you learn it. If you want to figure out how to do them all at once when you import them, that's up to you. Okay, and 4 more. Click, click. And you don't actually have to hold Shift in Premiere. It keeps the proportions correct for you. Okay, 2 more. Okay, so they're all sized. I'm going to go back to fit just so I can work on a bigger field, but now they're all in place. So the next thing you can decide to do, are they too long or too short? You can manually shorten them. I believe when you right click and you can get the properties or the speed and duration, I believe. They're 5 seconds when they come in, and that's a fairly decent speed to work with. If you wanted them a little bit faster, you could change the speed here by just putting in 4 seconds. All right, but I will cancel that because I'm going to leave it at 5. Or you can manually roll your selection tool to the edge and you can roll it shorter. This way you're not sure how short it is. It doesn't really tell you, I don't think, while you're rolling. All right, it's kind of, I think I'm taking there's 1 second, 2 seconds off, right? 3 seconds off, yeah. So you can kind of go that way and look how many seconds you're taking off. So there, if you wanted to change the order, now's the time. Put it on the top track, grab the other one, put it on the bottom track, and then change the order in the order that you want. All right, so that's your introduction of just resizing, changing the length of your clips or of your photos, and also putting onto video track 1 and also moving them around in an order that you want. The red line indicates that it needs to be rendered. Every time you do major changes, you need to render your project, which is hitting return on your keyboard, or you can go sequence and you can render entire work area, but the shortcut is hitting return and it shows you right there. So I'll just render that all. And as you can see, it's going to take maybe a minute or two. So while it's rendering, I'll stop the video and do the next lesson.